You are listening to AM Thunder, the official pay-per-view review show of Kayfabe Talk Radio. And now your hosts, Eric the Red and Mr. Bones.
Are you sure that you want it? Is the fire in your soul gonna keep you warm? Is this the price that you covet? Did you find the reason that you were born? And if it's not, you better step aside, because I'm coming for it, coming for it. I'm falling. This is rage, this is war. I'm falling. Hear us settle every score. Do you wanna have it all? Do you wanna have control? Are you
Welcome everyone to this edition of AM Thunder, the official pay-per-view review show of Kayfabe Talk Radio. I'm Eric the Red, joined along with, as always,
Mr. Bonesaw. And All In was very much a fantastic show.
Yeah, and without starting any beef here, I'm just gonna say, with all due respect to some people that I have been conversating with over the weekend, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I very much so enjoyed the show, and it doesn't make me a Bullet Club or Cody Rhodes dick sucker. It's basically my opinion. I'm okay to have one, so both of us really enjoyed the show, so you're going to hear a lot of positives. You're going to hear a little bit of negatives, but you're going to hear most part positives about the entire show.
See, on the production side, it was a fantastic show in terms of the setup, the just overall aesthetics. We'll get into more of some of the negative stuff. A lot of it's negative, like nitpicks. But there were issues. It wasn't a perfect show. No show is perfect. But overall, I wouldn't exactly say that it was the greatest live show pay-per-view that I've ever seen. It does rank up, and to be honest, I could say that it ranks up this year with some of the best shows of the year. I would say it's on par with Dominion, Wrestle Kingdom, NXT New Orleans,
Slammiversary.
It ranks up there in terms of just overall match quality, overall execution, just the amount of fun that you have in the show, and just the amount of crazy risks that they take. Just, oh man, there's so much fantastic stuff that they do here, and again, we're not here to suck the balls of the Bullet Club. We're just giving credit where credit is due.
Yep, but without any further ado, we start off with the first hour on WGN, which is the pre-show, as they call All In 0 Hour. And it starts off with the Bucks and Cody coming out and basically doing a little bit of a comical promo, talking about, here we are, this is All In, and, you want to see some pyro, and it was not high production quality pyro. It's kind of the same shit that they use in Ring of Honor, but honestly, whatever, it's fine. We don't see enough pyro nowadays anyway, so I'll take that over none. It's better than nothing. So we had that.
It's this situation where it is a slightly smaller venue. It's not a huge venue where you could sort of get away with pyro on that size, but it's a budget production. Like I don't understand if someone's complaining about not getting like huge fireball explosions like you would get in like WWE back in like or WWF back in the late '90s. You're not going to get that type of production. It's too expensive to produce. But for the most part, you're getting sparklers. You're getting explosions. You're getting smoke, and that's all you really need, right?
Yep. Yeah, again, I was fine with it. I had no fucking problem with it. It's better than nothing. Next thing was you had that, and then they were like, okay, so how about a cameo from a wrestling legend? All shows have that. So give us a hint. Oh, what a rush. And then we had Animal come out on a bike. I thought that was really cool. I had that for Chicago. He didn't need to do a match. That was fine. That was enough. They didn't need to do anything else more with him. And they were mostly sponsoring Pro Wrestling Tees. There was a shit ton of fucking Pro Wrestling Tees, and that's what the belts that they had were. They were custom made Pro Wrestling Tees belts. And honestly, I mean, it is what it is. It's good that they had a lot of sponsors. They had to shield the sponsors as much as possible. A lot of it was probably out of a joke, because we all know what WWE does with the network, but again, they're basically fucking doing good by the sponsors, because sponsors bring in money. So
See, I have no problem with it being on the. This is the main thing I enjoyed from it. I don't care if you see sponsorships on the mat. I don't care if there's sponsorships on the ring apron or on the barricades or even in the props. I don't care.
I'm fine with that.
I have an issue when you have I have no problem with that. It's just I have an issue when you take time out of a match, or you're forcing your commentator to take time away from either calling a spot or at the very least giving witty banter so you can fucking shill whatever product because that actually is distracting. I have no problem with them going, there's TGI Fridays, or the TGI Fridays logo is on one of the ring apron. I don't I really don't give a shit about that. That's fine.
I mean, it's in UFC, it's, you see fucking...
Yeah, it's everywhere.
You see Bud Light sponsorships all over the fucking ring canvas, and even in UFC, it's you hear Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan, you hear them promote Bud Light, and they're doing, Bud Light, here we go! But it's not, in the middle of, a big fucking match. You're not seeing, fucking Steve Miocic versus DC, and while someone's in an armbar, they're going, well, we'd like to take the time to just plug Bud Light. No, that's not how it works. It's hey,
is in WWE, it's basically you got Cole or
Corey, or Byron.
What's the other one?
Byron or what the?
Byron.
Who's
Phillips?
Oh, face fuck Tom.
Yeah. You got Tom Phillips and you got Cole fucking shilling the product of the week, and it's oh, he's going for the finish. Oh, we'd like to talk about Viagra. Viagra makes you hard as a rock for your woman. Oh, the match is over. Good night, everybody. That's a WWE show. You watch the show. You get God. Now I'm just falling into fucking just ripping on WWE. No, it's just an issue where I would rather them just do the product placement on the mat or on the apron, and props and shit throughout the match that are intelligent, and they don't they show the brand, but you're not going, oh, that's Cracker Barrel, or at the least they were making fun of it,
Yeah, they did that. They did that during...
Don Callis was saying, they were getting free food. So, Ian Riccaboni was, saying about how, all the food he was, stealing in the back. Or he was getting way too fat from eating all the food.
Yeah, I mean, they were joking around with it, but it's like, people were legit on Twitter getting annoyed about it. They're like, all right, enough, we get it. It's like, that's the joke. I swear to God, I feel like people are way too, like, and here's the one thing I'm going to say about this show is because it's on a scale now where everybody was watching it, everyone legit is so conditioned to. If this show proved anything, it proved how conditioned people are to just WWE when they nitpick things because WWE doesn't do them, or if they nitpick things that WWE does, which is a parody of what WWE does, they're gonna nitpick it because they're parodying WWE. Yet they're gonna complain about WWE for doing.
This is the problem though with. And
There's too much. There was
like,
way too much fucking
before.
hypocrisy, like with the fans.
But what I was annoyed with is you had a lot of people who were that were watching this show or waiting for like a lot of people were rooting for it to fail. There are a lot of people that hate the Indies, do not care for the Indies. They don't like the Bullet Club. They only watch WWE, and everything outside of WWE is considered blasphemy. And you have a lot of people that are going, well, this isn't going to do anything about wrestling in general. This is just going to fail, and it's mostly just them going, well, I don't like it. It's not WWE, and I think everybody's getting excited for nothing, and it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the pecking order. WWE has nothing to be afraid of, and I saw a lot of like posts on Facebook, especially like anything that was talking about it. You had a lot of people who are positive. Like, you had people, like, that are fans of the Indies just understand what this means to the wrestling business, and then you had a lot of people who are like, a lot of the WWE apologists just fucking shit all over it. A lot of the stuff they saw, they just didn't like. And, yeah, I mean, that's their opinion. But
Yeah.
it's sad, though. It's sad that we're in this state where we can't even appreciate good wrestling without going, oh, well, it's not the company that I like, so I'm just going to shit on it because it's not my personal preference, rather than going, hey, it's good wrestling overall, good on them.
I love it though.
Or competition.
But these are the same people who are gonna go, oh, boo Roman, yay AJ Styles, and then when you get to this show, boo all these guys. Why? Because the ring posts say some other words that don't have a W on them. Oh, because Vince McMahon's not booking the show. Oh, but don't you complain about him booking the show every Monday? Yeah, but that's different. I don't know. It's a thing where I hate fucking. If this show did anything, it made me realize how isolated wrestling fans really are from each other, and it made me think, yeah, maybe we are the problem. Maybe there's no one's allowed to be a second company around because too many fucking people or still exist where it's, oh, well, this is all we know is WWE. That's all we know, and we don't care. But, and that's been a problem for fucking what, almost 2 decades, because there hasn't been anything since 2001 where it's 2000 where there's been close to 10,000 people. So because of
the
that,
main thing I can say is we're living in a world where there can only be one or the other, and that's the main problem that I have in professional wrestling. It's you either like WWE or you like the Indies, you like New Japan, Ring of Honor, or whatever, and it's gotten to the point where, oh, I don't like anything WWE does, but NXT is good. No, it's so stupid. I don't want to watch it. I want to watch New Japan. I want to watch this and this. Okay, but there's good wrestling here. What they're doing right now might suck, but I mean, you can always get better. No, I don't want to it's Eric. What it is it's bias. You're going in. You're taking your biases, and then you basically wipe away any criticism or any type of supportive, constructive um, reasoning, and you basically say, I don't want to watch that because this and this reason, but then I don't have concrete reasons to hate anything that they do. Whereas we have issues with WWE, but we don't want the company to fail. We want them to learn from constructive criticism, get better. And I think the best, and these fans don't get this, the best thing that could happen for WWE is All In succeeding, Ring of Honor succeeding, New Japan succeeding, a big blow up of the NWA brand in terms of just getting all these companies together to actually oppose WWE, because WWE has been for too long the only thing the only horse in the fucking race. And if you don't have another horse in that race, you have a monopoly. The company will eventually fail because guess what? There's no competition. There's no drive for them to get any better. You're just going to wear out the existing fan base. The fan base is just going to get tired of the stale booking, the mediocre storylines, and they're just going to go somewhere else, or they'll go to another sport. And we've been seeing this happen for years now. And what was the big thing in the Attitude Era? What forced WWE's hand to better themselves? WCW was breathing down their fucking neck. And now you have that opportunity to bring things back to the way they were in the Attitude Era and get people back into wrestling. And I just don't get these people that are like, well, it's stupid because it's not WWE. No, but everything that happens here can end up making WWE better.
And I guarantee you, when you say that, people are gonna look at your comment and go, and I'm gonna be careful of who I fucking impersonate here, so I'm just gonna say this with a straight voice. Yeah, and what about a bunch of penises coming out? Is that gonna change pro wrestling? Because there is plenty of those fucking comments, and I'll explain another point later, but the best way to put that, and then I'll get into talking about the actual matches from, the pre-show and the show itself. The thing with the Joey Ryan stuff, I'll talk about it more when we get to that spot, but the best way to explain it is those people there all paid because they're fans of that Bullet Club brand. What you were seeing, and I've been comparing this for, I've been saying this for over a year now, or about a year when it was announced. Bullet Club, changing the name to All In, is basically a modern version of NWO Sold Out. What you were paying to see was not just a celebration of the indies. That's where it gets twisted here. Yes, it's a celebration of the independents and it's anti-WWE, but more so, it's the Bullet Club's brand. And they were taking their storylines from their YouTube show and attaching it to this. So basically, if you did not watch BTE, if you did not watch Being the Elite, you kind of didn't know what was going on. Though that show was a platform, and I didn't realize that until actually watching All In. That All In was the climax, no pun intended, to all these storylines on BTE, and it's brilliant. They use something weekly to get these stories across, and for everyone to fucking freak out over. That's old school wrestling 101. Taking stuff and making an interesting storyline, from Flip not getting booked to Macho Man, Jay Lethal, to SCU with their antics, with Hangman killing Joey, and all this shit. But they incorporated everything, and it culminated here. So the best way to put it is, if you didn't like it, you know what? You may not just be either a fan of their YouTube show, which is fine, but that's one thing you gotta expect is they use BTE as a catapult to get these storylines and angles over it. And that's what it was, and that's what it was, and that'll probably what it'll even be next year if they do another one. So,
what I don't get about the Dick Druid thing is, and I loved it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Just for taking the piss out of like a lot of the goofy, because they're really thinking about it. They're parodying a fucking situation where a fucking guy who's expected to be this undead fucking demon monstrosity being comes out with all these fucking druids in your quote-unquote serious, mature wrestling show.
Which,
okay, fuck off, really.
Yeah, like
I'm sorry, but like the joke was you're taking something that is considered serious, which, to be honest, the fucking druid thing is goofy as shit to begin with, and you just added in dicks because the gimmick is he's a fucking dick wrestler. It's not the weirdest thing, and like we've seen in professional wrestling, there's weird shit, and like you said, you're going in with the expectation that shit's gonna be weird. You're watching a show expecting comedy wrestling, some comedy wrestling.
You're
it's
going
not
there
all comedy wrestling, but there's shit in there that's meant to be funny, and it wasn't a main event. That's another thing that I fucking gets me. It's like, okay, you've never seen a fucking comedy bit done on a show? Like, how many fucking, like, stupid fucking, like, skits have WWE or WCW done over the years that just landed like a fucking wet fart?
Yep.
And everybody forgot about that. But this is the fucking thing that breaks the fucking, like, just breaks the camel's back, because people came out dressed like dicks. Wow, oh my god, people dressed up like something phallic. I've never seen that before. Yeah, in WCW, you had a fucking guy dressed up in a fucking stormtrooper outfit, fucking fall through a wall, and then go on and have to face people in a fucking serious wrestling match, or set up a promo for a serious wrestling match. So, come on, guys! It's fucking entertainment. Sometimes you're not supposed to take it seriously. It's supposed to be a little bit of levity. You had a fucking serious match where you had a fucking tearjerker, and you see a guy whose family legacy, has been cemented, and it's a big emotional moment. You need some, like, bit of, levity and humor. You can't have the entire show be serious, especially when you're dealing with the fucking Bullet Club. You know what you're dealing with. Like you said, it's a platform for their fucking YouTube show. Like, what did people fucking think?
ECW was never about just blood and guts and fire like they think, like people want to claim it was. On the same exact card of having fucking Ian Rotten and Axel Rotten hit each other with tape fists with glass, and having fucking Sandman and Sabu beat the shit out of each other with barbed wire and kendo sticks, you've had the Blue Meanie and the Blue World Order come out there parroting the NWO. You've had fucking 911 chokeslam Joel Gertner after Joel Gertner made fucking sexual innuendos. You've had your goofy shit in serious, quote-unquote, serious promotions. You've had WWE. We can go through a laundry list of goofy things they've... On the same exact card of fucking... what was the WrestleMania? I think... Was it 3? I don't know. With the one where it was Macho Man and Steamboat, you had this athletic competition. Right. Wasn't it the match where King Gun Bunny was fighting a bunch of midgets?
Yeah.
I rest my case. I rest my fucking case. So everyone out there that wants to go, this is gonna change wrestling. Yeah, right. Yeah, because you're having a dick wrestler. We're not, and look, we're not. At least I'm not. I'm not saying that this show is going to automatically hit WWE and financially. No, this one show isn't. For the future, maybe it could. Maybe this is a start of something. And I'm saying maybe. I'm not going out here like like someone who's a little naive mentally and going, "Oh, this is it. This is definitely going to happen now. It's definitely going to happen." I'm saying, "No, there's hope. This is actual hope. This is more hope from now than what we've gotten from Impact and or even now I could say it, TNA and Ring of Honor. Then, this is the most hope we've had ever. Even, I hate to say it, even Japan. Japan has come here a couple times now. California has not hit 10,000 people. This show did. And now, Ring of Honor and Japan are colliding together this time, and they're supposed to have sold out the Garden. And, hey, you know what? Fuck yeah. That's what you need more of. You need more sellout shows. You need more of them to go, oh shit, okay, look, now they're competing basically with NXT. Maybe if we see a decrease in the live events in the Raw and SmackDown shows, maybe that could be a thing. But for now, yeah, WWE still reigns supreme, but there's hope. There's hope, and eventually this will turn heads. And if it turns heads in a positive way of, hey, look, I watched BTE and I thought it was funny. I thought it was entertaining. I had fun. I like these guys. Then yes, they did their job.
See, the thing with this is, and a lot of people don't get this, All In on its own isn't the thing that is going to change everything.
No.
This is just a catalyst for different things these companies are going to end up doing. Because what most people don't get is it's not about just the Young Bucks. It's not just about these indie guys just working a company and just the pay-per-view itself and the amount of tickets sold. It is partly that, because it means that overall the indies have wrestling fans have the acknowledgement to say, yeah, it is a niche audience, but the audience is loyal enough to come anywhere to watch them. If you get all these guys together, and then you have all these companies, and you build enough of a brand, just in that one situation, it's especially considering you have NWA. And I'm not the only one that said this. I mentioned this months ago. I mean, I think I was a little bit grandiose in my thoughts of what NWA is going to do later on down the road. But I was listening to the Going In Raw podcast, and they were talking about what their thoughts are, especially with Cody Rhodes being the NWA champion, because it was done on purpose. There isn't, as much as we go, oh well, it's for nostalgia. No, there's a business reason behind them giving him the belt. It wasn't just for nostalgia's sake only, and just for All In. There's a concrete business plan with Cody Rhodes and Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor would not be allowing one of their guys to be the NWA champion if there wasn't a concrete plan in place between Sinclair and Billy Corgan, because that would not be happening. He's their guy, and you have to be thinking right now, what are they planning? Because again, a lot of these companies, they do stuff with each other, but you also got to be thinking, okay, Impact, AAA, Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, Impact,
CMLL,
New Japan, PWG, all sending their top guys. Why? Why are they doing this? Why would they, besides the attention, why would they be doing this? Do you think maybe, I don't know, teaming up together, having a situation where you have a larger brand in the indies, rather than being one single entity and having to kind of like carve out your little stake of, the overall, wrestling pie, which WWE dominates the market. That's a clear cut case. As much as we love the indies, that's a case that we cannot argue against. They dominate the market. They are the monopoly. But in terms of, hey, you have all these companies that if they were able to come together, and I'm not saying they're going to have a big fucking merger. Anyone who's listening I'm not saying, hey, they're all going to be one company. It's going to be a fucking massive no. I could definitely see NWA getting their shit together under this and under Cody Rhodes, especially considering Billy Corgan was quoted in saying that he had a 20-year plan in terms of making the NWA heavyweight title a business solvable title and bringing back that brand as a legitimate wrestling company. And you have to kind of realize that giving the belt to Cody, he's probably accelerated his plans, because Nick Aldis was, most people knew him as was Magnus. He did a good job in keeping.
He wasn't very good as Magnus. Let me tell you.
He did a good job as NWA champion, but
yes,
let's be honest. Who was the bigger draw? The guy in the Bullet Club, or the guy who was formerly known as Magnus?
I would love for people to go, hey, Stardust is the champion. No, what would you rather, Stardust or Magnus? Come on now. Come on now. Even if you want to go there.
My point is, you have one of the top indie workers in the world right now, son of Dusty Rhodes, a former Ring of Honor champion, a guy in the one of the top members of the Bullet Club. He had to, Billy Corgan was probably fucking jizzing in his pants when he realized that this was going to be the fucking plan, because everything had to be accelerated by years. Just the amount of attention that at the end of, well, really, when was the last time the NWA title meant fucking anything?
So I think when it was in TNA, maybe, and that was 2007.
Yeah. So, and even then, the belt was barely, anything. But you gotta realize, in today's market, all these brands need to come together, and just under the NWA umbrella, just combine. And somebody was mentioning this, where they would love to see Cody, make a deal with all these companies and say, everybody still keeps their champion. If you have the Ring of Honor champion, he's still champion in that territory, but make it like the old territory days, where you have you have Cody as champion. He goes from territory to territory, facing all these different challengers, and he is the one champion above all.
Yeah, of course.
That is how it should be done. And I hope I really hope that's the case. I hope they make the deal with all these companies, and they just kind of merge them together. Not merge them. Just come together as a federation. Just a federation of all these different brands coming together, so you have the brand awareness to go, that's part of NWA, but that's New Japan. That's Ring of Honor. So you're going in and you see all those different companies, and you go, that's an NWA company.
Because with the name the National Wrestling Alliance, that's more of a national United States type of deal. That's not exactly a worldwide type of deal. So, you have a relationship with Japan, but you don't make them a part of it. But I do agree with you on Ring of Honor, Impact. Even if you want to throw in PWG there, Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the American federations, and yeah, have AAA and CMLL and and then Japan and NOAA, have them work with them, but don't say, oh, that's an NWA territory, because it can't be, because it's a different company, it's a different country.
I mean, well, the NWA had dealings with
No, yeah,
with the
yeah,
New
yeah.
Japan and
No,
days, but
no, yeah, yeah, but I'm saying they wouldn't be like, New Japan.
I mean, even if you need to rebrand it, because you could say, well, it's still NWA, but then we could have like I don't know, you could end up like having it under the umbrella where you have it. It's like it's not part of our company, but the belt is still like at the very least, because it's the world title.
Yeah.
The belt should be put on the line everywhere the champion goes. Any country, if it's a world title, it should be put on the line in nearly every country that has wrestling. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. I gotcha.
So
I gotcha. But anyway, moving on. To the actual card. For the All In 0 Hour, we had SCU defeat the Briscoes. SCU, Frankie Kazarian came out as dressed as Rocky Balboa. Scorpio Sky came out dressed as Apollo Creed, and that is immediately Easter egg number 1 if you watch BTE. The episode, the go home episode, if you will. I think it was 117. They were in front of the Rocky Balboa statue. So, yeah, that was Easter egg number 1 from from BTE episodes. So, yeah, I mean, and also great match. Great match to really start the night off. Some of the spots looked really fucking good with them. Not too many blemishes or botches. The spot for me is still gonna be the, I enjoyed the Jay Driller into the Froggy Bow, and then they kick out of that, and then when they go for the finish, which was the Doomsday, Kazarian counters it into a fucking a scoop slam, or whatever you would.
Power slam, yeah.
Yeah, the power slam. Fucking brilliant. And then Scorpio comes in with a running knee.
I like the false finish too with the redneck boogie. Or they had that, and then they that I thought that was a pin. Like I really thought that was a pin, and that also translates into Ring of Honor now, because now. Briscoes are still the tag team champions, and now that makes I'm pretty sure, considering the amount of people that they're going to bring this into the storyline for Ring of Honor and say, yeah, the Briscoes lost to the SCU, so SCU was number 1 contender.
Yeah. Yep.
I could definitely see that being done.
Well, I mean, they
have
a lot
of good spots. It's weird, and I was listening to a lot of people that were saying, "Oh, are the SCU SCU is they have this over the top, they almost they have a heelish gimmick in terms of the joke is this is the worst town I've ever been to, but." They've gone so over as baby faces, and just you have this team that's saying these things, the crowd is eating it all, and now I kind of think of like all the guys that have heelish tendencies in like WWE that should be turned babyface, but just keep them as kind of like almost heelish characters, and then just have them do babyface things like saving other people. It's just a little nice touch there, and I enjoyed that there were parts of the match where the pace kind of slowed down just a tad bit, and just the Briscoes are such masters of keeping the crowd still engaged in the match, just screaming to the crowd to shut up, and
Yeah.
the crowd just went fucking ballistic, fucking screaming at them.
Yeah, it was pretty clear cut here. You know that SCU they had by default were the baby faces. They so and after this show, I'm pretty convinced that they're not full blown baby heels anymore. After that the shit with Amel and Daniels that we're gonna talk about. I'm definitely convinced that these guys now are clear cut fucking tweeners. They're not heels, they're not baby faces, they're in between. But again, it's one of these things. They're just really over, and I like the new music too. The new music was pretty, it's funny, it's catchy. I mean,
That's you.
SCU. Next one.
SCU.
Next one, we had the over the budget battle royal. This was a lot. This was a lot of fun. So the participants in this one were let's see. I'm trying to find the actual list here that I'm not seeing for some reason. But anyway, yeah, to my knowledge, it was Bully Ray, Colt Cabana, El Hijo
Jordan
del...
Grace.
Yeah, Jordan Grace, Brian Cage, Moose, Jimmy Jacobs, and a weird, thing. Billy Gunn and his stunt double, his son, Austin Gunn. Marco Stunt, who is not a day over, too. That's an ongoing joke from if you listen to Soul Monster. Trying to think who else was in that. Tommy Dreamer, Cheeseburger. I'm going off the top of my head here, folks. Punishment Martinez. Think I'm missing a couple.
Did you mention Hurricane?
Yeah, Hurricane. Yeah, Hurricane was in there.
Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, I mentioned Dreamer.
You mentioned Dreamer. Brian Cage.
Yes, mentioned Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the people get the point, but
Yeah.
I love the Battle Royal. It was one of these feel good things. I marked out for a trash can, which because nowadays it's one of these things where when you have things like that, we're like a hard, like no DQ type of environments, it's mostly a chair, a candlestick at a table, like my dad likes to say. Now it's like, I don't ask for much. Just give me a trash can, give me a fucking stop sign, give me something, either new or something that brings back, some good memories, during like the hardcore 24/7 rule or ECW or whatever the fuck. So,
I like the fact that they turned this into like this wasn't just a regular battle royale, because too many times you've seen a battle royale and to be honest, this could have easily been like just a standard stock generic, Andre the Giant battle royale. Or even New Japan's battle royales tend to be a little stock standard.
I don't
sometimes.
like those. I don't like those battle royals at all. Those New Japan ones. I mean, the one time where
they're fun to watch every once in a while, because you see a guy like you can see a guy like Liger or something like that. But for the most part, they're very stock standard. I would say like. The Andre the Giant Battle Royale is probably the worst, and then the New Japan one, and then the fucking Royal Rumble now is a fucking joke too. So in terms of like a big Battle Royale that's fun, has a lot of stake to it, and then because really when you think about it, this was pretty much it's just as close to the stakes of a Royal Rumble as you get, because the fucking belt is on the line here.
Yeah, you got
the number one contender. So and it had a lot of and everybody. This is the main thing I like. WWE needs to learn from this because a lot of the stuff here they could learn. Just have their writing staff look at some of this stuff because just everybody in this match had a fucking storyline. Everybody was doing crazy shit. Like you had a full fucking storyline where you got Trent Beretta and Chucky T trying to fucking hug. Just the whole match, just trying to fucking hug, and that's just one fucking storyline that they got going on. They got another one where you got a Bully Ray just wanting to fucking beat the shit out of every little midget he can find, and Marco Stunt's fucking like taking it to him. Then you got everybody got their fucking moment, like their moment to shine, and that's the best thing you can take away from this battle royale because no company does this anymore.
I really though think that they knew with the people that they had here, they knew like okay, so like we're gonna throw in some comedy people, we're gonna throw in like I do think like yeah because they were cut on time. I was like man, it would have been nice to see some of the entrances. I really wasn't too thrilled just for the idea of yeah, we're going to announce it the Battle Royals now, and then we're going to treat Brian Cage and Moose, who were big stars in Impact, and we're going to treat Billy Gunn and Dreamer, who are legends. We're just going to treat them, as, hey, like, these are just who they are. They're just randomly here. And, we got the only entrance we're going to give is Bully Ray. With all due respect to Bully Ray,
that was a little weak. That was a little weak.
That's that's the only thing I'm gonna complain about is oh yeah look just all these really good people are here, but no, the only one that gets an introduction is Bully Ray. I mean I know it was
I understand why they did that because they wanted him to get the heel heat for later on.
Yeah, but I will say honestly, even the fact that he came out later on too, it was like, isn't this supposed to be a little bit of a smarky show? Bully Ray doesn't need to be out there he doesn't need to be out there for more than just a Battle Royal. There was a lot of Bully Ray on the show.
Oh, I mean, to be honest, and this is the one thing I'll kind of agree with the detractors on the show. Ring of Honor had a big fucking bit of input on the show, and just in terms of setting everything up. And we all know Bully has a fucking huge stake in the company. He's what does he do? He's a booker in right now? Or?
Yeah, he's a booker.
So yeah, I mean obviously be in good graces with Ring of Honor, and they gave him a bigger. I mean, and also he's one of the most recognizable faces in Ring of Honor in terms of like the top guys that were from like WWE in terms of and now being on the Indies, he's easily recognizable. He already an issue with guys like, I mean they've already set up the whole feud between him and Flip, so I kind of get why they did it.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
It would have been weird. It would have been weird because, like, okay, let's say you have Punishment Martinez come out and fucking like destroy both of them. It doesn't make sense because there's not a feud ongoing. There's no ongoing feud between those three guys.
No, see, my thing is, I'm not against for Bully being on the show. I'm not against him for being in the Battle Royal. All I'm saying is, wasn't too cool with people treated like just random fucking jamokes without entrances, and then the only one that gets one is him, and then here he comes later on anyway, and to me it was kind of like, I thought we were getting rid of the TNA Jeff Jarrett stank.
True. I mean, but
which I will rip him and I will rip that guy a new one.
Like coming in, it was just him coming in the ring. They didn't even really play his music or anything.
I will. Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm gonna rip into Jeff Jarrett when we get into the NWA shit.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun with that one. Oh my god. But anyway, so yeah. Bully Ray.
Overall, what were your thoughts on the match itself?
I loved it. Again, I loved it. I loved the last spot. I'm so happy that people, including yourself, got to see a girl like Jordan Grace, who I've been watching a lot of her stuff on the indies. The way I found out who she was like, like most men do, was when you see a really attractive girl, you gotta know who she is, and then you Google her name, and or you like, okay, for instance, the way I found her was, or saw who she was when they had the Roman Reigns Braun Strowman gimmick, where Braun gets thrown into the ambulance and then they back it into a semi or whatever the fuck. She was the girl off to the side on her phone, quote unquote calling 911, and she's this really pretty girl, this really pretty thick girl in a dress, and I'm like, who is that? And people are like, oh, that's Jordan Grace. She's a wrestler. She's dating Jonathan Gresham. I'm like, I never heard of her. Let me check her out. And then I've seen her work, and then I'm like, oh man, like I'm surprised she doesn't get fucking signed to Ring of Honor or something, And now it's like maybe, hopefully she will, because holy shit, did she impress a lot of people. And I'm also glad Cage got to show up a little bit more than just, because he's been killing it in Impact, and Lucha, and even AAA. But him and Punishment, I want that to be a dream match that eventually happens. I really want that to happen.
Bubby's got a boner for a death match.
You're damn right. Oh yeah, and that's another thing I'll say. I will say there was a lot of people missing on the card, and I really do wish, from the match we saw with Jimmy Havoc and Punishment, I wish Jimmy Havoc was in this Battle Royal.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun.
I wish.
It would have been hard because he would have. He probably would have talked them into like doing some spots with thumbtacks, which I am not against at all, but probably time constraints and just overall
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there was a lot of guys. There were a lot of guys that and even in the Bullet Club, and this is one thing I did notice. A lot of guys from the Bullet Club did not come to this. All the OG guys, which I kept expecting there to be like an attack or fucking just...
Yeah, we both... And Tama Tonga and, and Haku and Loa, they were there. But no, they didn't do any of that. But you know what? That's a testament to there being an actual divide there. Yujiro and Chase are not part of the fucking Bullet Club elite in America. They are not. They're doing that just so they could do fucking tag matches when it's convenient against the Tongans and the other guy, Ishimori. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that. So, but I mean,
that's sad though. I mean, like these guys have been in the Bullet Club for a while, and they just there's nothing for them. And it's not like they're bad wrestlers. It's just for whatever reason, they just haven't gotten over with the fans, and they're not as close to everybody else as the rest of the guys.
I guess it could come down to a lot of things. It could come down to they just don't translate, and it's not even just Tokyo Pimp. It's even Chase Owens. Chase Owens just, there's not, like, I think maybe one day he could branch out, because look, Hangman was viewed as a B-team player, and now look, he's one of the fucking top guys. He's a fucking prospect. He's a top fucking guy prospect at 27 years old. There's a lot of potential there to be had with a guy like him. So who knows? Maybe Chase Owens. Who knows? Maybe one day when they bring someone else up that's new, we're gonna look at them and go, oh yeah, this is a B plus player in the fucking in the B team part of fucking Bullet Club, and then like eventually they could step up. So, who's to say?
I think they should start circulating them out though. Like after a while, like let them do their own stuff. Like obviously not the major guys, but like the guys that are like not doing shit. Like they should start circulating them out. If you're not pulling your weight, there should be guys in ready to come up in case somebody leaves. So they're doing stuff to like bring fresh blood into the group rather than just being, because that's what they did with you had Marty Scurll, you had Cody Rhodes. They came in when guys like Adam Cole left. So you always need that like ability to like, okay, you're leaving, you're doing other stuff, you want to be outside of the Bullet Club. Let's find fresh talent that we can always just bring in. But no, I again going back to the battle royale. I loved a lot of the spots. I loved the elimination with Jordan Grace where she just fucking gorilla presses. Like I fucking like lost my shit when I saw that. I was like, no fucking way, because fucking Brian Cage is built like a fucking tank. Like she literally fucking just like squatted him and just ejected him out of the ring. And other MVPs I fucking loved Punishment. Thought he looked like a fucking $1,000,000. He eliminated like a fucking like he used like 3 or 4 people. And then you had Marco Stunt, who fucking looked like I love the fact that he's just like this fucking like he is what Hornswoggle should have been. This little just full of fucking piss and vinegar. Just like I don't give a shit if I get like tossed like a fucking like lawn gnome. I'm gonna like fucking like claw at you with everything I got. And I just love the whole like exchange with him and Bully, where he's just like he's pulling him up by his fucking hair and just like whipping him across the fucking ring, and like there's just even the elimination where he just picks him up by the fucking head and like just launches his ass like out of the ring, and then just him fucking selling, just hitting the outside, and he's just laying there like you watch those like fucking like Looney Tune cartoons where the fucking guy like just hits the pavement and it's like a fucking just like makes like a splat sound. That's what like if you could just dub something over that, like you would just hear like a fucking like cartoon trumpet and like a fucking like sign coming out of like the fucking like a sign that says like meet or like or help me or something, because it was so funny to just see somebody fucking like get like launched like that, and it just instantly gave me like a Looney Tunes kind of vibe, and you're the one that fucking like pointed this out to me, because I didn't even realize how stupid that I was about this, but the gimmick that Flip Gordon was doing.
Yep. Yeah. So for those that do watch BTE, here's your second Easter egg. So and they wound up showing him and Fat Ass Mousa together, which was fucking. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that later on.
They
did that like later on in the pay-per-view itself.
Like they did it like within like the second or third match in.
Yeah, they did.
Like that shit, which is hilarious because Rocky Romero was in the match, so he got changed and dressed and put the mask on just to sit ringside.
Which I wonder if they do what they do in WWE. They just have them sit there for like a minute or two and then go back.
Oh, dude! Well, you saw with Matt Riddle. Remember when he?
No. I'm what I'm saying is with the Indies, do they actually just sit and fucking watch it though?
I'm pretty sure the face pan to the camera and just say,
Yeah.
okay, if you want to leave, by all means. I'm sure some stay, but I'm sure, I'm sure some stay, but I'm sure it's also too like John Mayer was there, and
Yeah.
from what I understood, he was there from pretty much the whole show. So that's a little different, I guess, but there are times where at least in WWE it's shoehorned. But in over here, it's who knows? They probably are just there. That sounds more like a stunt. I doubt Rocky Romero was sitting there for 4 hours in a luchador mask.
You know who was? I was actually confused that he wasn't in the Battle Royale.
Huh.
Dalton Castle.
He's hurt, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he was on commentary. He was on commentary.
Yeah, he was on. I remember.
Yeah.
Like he was.
Yeah,
He was on commentary during the Battle Royale.
I think
everyone. That's why I was confused. I thought
Yeah, any wrestler they think was on commentary, I do think it was probably just because they were hurt. But Phil Gordon's gimmick was because Rocky Romero plays this Chico character on Being the Elite. Phil Gordon was El Hijo del Chico. Which I immediately cracked up, and then when I knew it was Flip, I pretty much sat there and was like, okay, who the fuck is this guy? And then, as soon as he jumped in the ring as Bully Ray, they made you think Bully Ray was winning, and he fucking starts beating the shit out. I'm like, yo, it's Flip, and then he winds up winning to a huge pop. I was like, okay, I'm sold. Like, this is a tremendous battle royal. Like, they took a storyline for a year and acted on it. They got a generic, let's be honest here, they got a generic flippy guy over with a character to get you to sympathize for him. And they had him rise up, coming as a gimmick that, you never would have thought of. It was brilliantly fucking portrayed, and then he just immediately fucking wins. He just takes out a fucking legend and a Hall of Famer and this and that and Bully Ray and wins. And it was tremendous. So, anyone that shits on it, again, you probably because you just don't watch BTE. Next up, though, we had the actual show kicked off, and we had Matt Cross, known by a lot of old school indie fans as M-Dog20, or known by people that watch Lucha Underground as Son of Havoc, versus Maxwell J. Friedman, or also known as Maxwell J. Feinstein. Wrestles a lot in MLW. He's their current middleweight champion. Wrestles out of in like the New York, Pennsylvania area, I believe. He
I know it was killing you when they kept mentioning who.
They had to fucking get his name on that show somehow. They had to get Pat Suck's name out there somehow.
That whole time I was just like, yeah, Eric is fucking like furious about this.
I was more like, all right, whatever. Him and Kurt Hawkins trained them, and I was curious because like I didn't really all I knew him as from House of Hardcore. This is all I knew of this guy was that he's from House of Hardcore a lot, and he matches this guy Alex Reynolds, who is basically Pat Suck with long hair. And he was like pretty fucking. He's pretty copy and paste, generic looking guy, and MJF follows him around, and so all I knew was him as that, and then MJF I saw on MLW because I've been watching that company a lot lately. Had a really like poorly booked match against Joey Janela, and I'm like kind of like, okay, is this guy any good? And he went in there with Matt Cross, and granted Matt Cross is a fucking veteran. But they had a pretty good match. I was, a little more impressed with MJF. This is the first time.
What was that match originally supposed to be? Because I know, like, people backed out. I'm pretty sure this was like a last minute.
I don't know. I don't know only because MJF. So, if you remember from BTE, there was a match that was supposed to be between Brandy and Flip versus, and it was MJF and somebody else. Um, and the winners, and this was on a Wrestle Pro show, and the winners qualified for All In. Flip lost. Flip and Brandy lost, so MJF and whatever one of the girls was that won, they were qualified to wrestle at All In. So, yeah, this could have been something that has just been there, but it could have been a thing like, oh shit, like we kind of forgot we did this angle. So I guess they just forgot to promote it.
Yeah, but I remember like months ago, like I mean months and months ago. Um, they, I think they did. Did they announce? They announced originally Ricochet, right? And then he went to NXT, and they had to like, scrap that immediately.
Deanna Purrazzo was also supposed to be in this Fatal 4-Way, and they had to scrap her out of that too.
Yeah,
Matt Riddle was supposed to be a part of the show. He got scrapped because of the WWE system.
so I don't know who they. I think it might have been originally. I think it was supposed to be Matt Cross versus Ricochet. I
I
think
don't
that
know.
was the original.
I don't
plan.
know because MJF was supposed to be on this show. Unless they were going to put him in the Battle Royal, and it was supposed to be, like you said, Matt Cross. Yeah, you could be right, actually.
Unless they replaced Ricochet with Matt Cross because they have a similar wrestling style. That's the weird thing about this. Like when they said Son of Havoc, like I just know him as Son of Havoc. I really haven't followed Matt Cross on the Indies. Um, his wrestling style is so much fucking different. Just that's actually like and then this is a compliment. Just to like have because like I've watched. I haven't really caught up with Lucha, but I remember like watching the early seasons of Lucha. Um, his overall wrestling style is just his Son of Havoc is so much different than Matt Cross because it's like you're getting this guy like like on par with like your Will Ospreays or Ricochets, and then you have him as this like kind of like burly brawler, in Lucha Underground. It's like that's impressive when you can change your style of wrestling that much.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've fucking classified this guy as a veteran who doesn't get his just due for so many years. I thought it was really fucking fortunate that he never got the rightful, like they eliminated him on a Tough Enough, and it's like, come on now, like really, like you don't you had to be that much of a fucking asshat to this guy, like only ever did, like I don't know what it was with promoters, but for some reason this guy is just was at the bottom of the fucking barrel, of like he was just so underrated for so long, and now it's like I was so fucking happy to see him. If there was anybody that they were gonna put from the indies, I'm happy at least it was him as one of the guys, because because this guy finally got to be in front of a crowd of 10,000 people. From like the first time I've seen him was when like Backyard Wrestling 1 came out for the PS2, and they came out with a DVD for it, and it was like, like the best of like Backyard Wrestling matches, and one of the matches was this guy M-Dog20, which was him versus someone by the name of Josh Prohibition, and like Matt Cross and Dog 20, he was doing shit back then where you still don't see now, where the guy would be laying on the floor outside the ring and he's hanging onto the ring post, and he has his legs and his body contorted sideways, and he's holding up his body sideways on the ring post, then dropping onto his opponent. Like, he was doing really innovative shit, and this was back in like 2001, 2002. So he's been around for almost 20 years now, and like I said, I'm really fucking happy that he got to showcase his talent in front of the world. And MJF, again, new guy. I don't know personally a whole lot about him. I'm impressed with this one match. Wasn't impressed with him beforehand. He's got a future. He's 22, 23 years old. Right now he kind of wrestles a little like the Miz, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I just hope eventually he stands out a lot more.
Yeah, like he to me he's just like his gimmick is a
Generic.
little bit hackneyed, and I feel like like a kind of moving away from doing like the EC3 kind of gimmick, because that's what I'm getting from him, like
Yeah,
an
like Mike.
EC3
Yeah, it's your
early
typical
Hunter Hearst Helmsley kind of gimmick.
Michael Wall Street, which was Mike
Yeah,
Rotunda type of thing. $1 Million Man, whatever the fuck. Yeah. I don't know.
that's been done to death by this point. So it's like, yeah, well,
It's
like just. I liked his work. I think he has a future. I just think that maybe he should refine his gimmick a little bit more.
try to do something a little, or you know what? I honestly maybe pair up with the Bullet Club in this, not go in the Bullet Club. I mean, like pair up with them in the sense of try to get on that BTE show.
Yeah,
Do some character work on there, because at least when people see you, in that sense, it'll be like, oh shit, this guy's funny. This guy has a personality. He's not just another douchebag, fucking copy and paste gimmick here type of guy. He actually has some depth to him. So but the match itself was a good opener. It wasn't what people. I'm sure people were there pretty confused, because they probably didn't realize these guys were actually gonna be on the show. But again, I'm like I said, completely happy. Matt Cross does just do, got over. There's nothing wrong with a 22-year-old going, taking the loss here. It's it's one of these things now where this guy got a bright future, and hopefully we see Matt Cross in bigger crowds. I don't know what else to say. But next up, we had Daniels and Stephen Amell. I'm sure this shocked a lot of people. You're gonna have your people that are gonna say, "Oh, this was a botch fest." Both guys did slip up, obviously, but Stephen Amell, for his first singles match, his third wrestling match ever, you could tell he fucking wants this. You could tell he really wants to fucking do this, because he came out there and he made himself look like this is what he basically, the best way to put it, if you showed someone a footage of him and then you showed the footage of CM Punk, it'd be like, yeah, one of these guys belongs somewhere and one of these guys clearly doesn't.
well, obviously you're talking about UFC.
Clearly.
Yeah.
No,
No, we don't want a person going, "Oh, you're talking about his wrestling style."
No,
You're completely out of your mind.
I'm talking
Yeah, no,
about
we're talking about UFC.
Stephen Amell's wrestling, and I'm saying this as a CM Punk fan. I know you don't give a shit about the guy, but I say this as a CM Punk fan. Stephen Amell's wrestling career, by far better than CM Punk's UFC career. That is not a fucking dispute at all.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I completely fucking agree. I thought, and if you're a fan of professional wrestling, obviously you watch WWE. Anyone that's giving this match shit, first go and watch a Shane McMahon match. Tell me when he doesn't. I love Shane. I fucking love the guy. I love, that he's able to take those bumps and he can wrestle when he wants to. Not a technical wrestler. Never going to be one of the top guys in the world. It is what it is. Does he have entertaining matches? Yeah. Shades of Shane McMahon.
It's funny you say that
Willing to
because
put his
this match reminded me a little bit, or when I know it's probably because the Van Terminator, Coast to Coast, whatever you want to call it, but this match did, for some reason, it just reminded me a little bit of AJ and Shane from WrestleMania. Just a
Yeah,
little bit.
and I mean that makes a lot of sense considering, yeah, like you got two guys who are still kind of green. I mean, Shane has been in the ring for majority of his life. He's not as green as Stephen Amell, but for the most part, he's never been a wrestler in terms of like being like a full blown wrestler guy who is in the ring every single day of his life. But at the very least, Stephen Amell went out there, and to be honest, I would say this is no hyperbole about this. I really do believe this is probably the best celebrity singles match I've ever seen in professional wrestling. The only match that I actually see, even being on the same level is the Bam Bam LT match from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that's the only match I can see that's like on the same level. But even that, like, this is the amount of things that they tried to do in this match, the amount of just overall storytelling, the spots, the even a lot of the in terms of reversals, just overall, selling. It didn't look like your traditional, celebrity, match in terms of, that person looking green as shit and it just being a clusterfuck. This was an entertaining match. People were cheering, So, I give him a lot of credit. The only thing I would say is he needs to work on his footwork in terms of getting in the right position.
He was a little clumsy.
And
Leg work wise, he was a little clumsy.
yeah, but I mean that's also again that's something that we still see years years in the ring, and Shane still has that same issue.
Yes.
And just in terms of selling punches too, like he still does those goofy fucking like no sell punches.
Let's think of this
and
for a second, though. We're comparing a guy. We're comparing two guys who are clumsy, and we're comparing a guy in Stephen Amell who's had his third. This is his third wrestling match ever. It's his longest wrestling match ever. It's his first singles match ever, and we're comparing him at the same clumsiness level as a guy that's been wrestling for well over 20-something years in Shane McMahon, who is still as clumsy as a guy that just had his third match. So, you can take that as a diss, in which we both love Shane McMahon, so it's not really a diss, it's just kind of a thing we do notice, everyone notices. Or it could even be as a half compliment to Amell, which, hey, you're still going in there and busting your ass, and you have a little bit of a clumsiness, but guess what? Some of these guys have been in there for 20-something years are still pretty fucking clumsy, so don't worry too much about it. He did look a little gassed out toward the end, and again, that's fine. That's completely fine. He's not like a fucking football or baseball player. He's an actor. I don't know how many, and he, obviously he's in great physical shape, like aesthetically, but we don't know his cardio regimen. We don't know what his actual workout entails, but I'm sure he's gonna work on it a lot more now.
Yeah, I mean the main thing was the crowd was into the match. He didn't look like a goofball, and he didn't hurt Christopher Daniels' credibility.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and the main thing was Christopher Daniels still went over. He he still looks like $1,000,000. It was a fun match. Everybody came out of that match, still excited for the show. Because, to be honest, you could have a match, like, if that was a match in WWE, you have a fucking celebrity that doesn't know shit, you have a match like that, kill the entire vibe of a show. Because then you're just fucking completely exhausted. And, uh, you know, God bless him, he worked his ass off. He can't, and all these people that want to fucking complain about it. Well, why don't you get in the fucking ring?
For sure. You were right though. You were right for saying that Daniels is going over. I thought there was gonna be some fuckery involved, and clearly there wasn't. I'm happy though, regardless of which, because even though Stephen Amell lost, he did still win. He still won, in the eyes of people, and it shocked a lot of people. And then Daniels again, continuing what I was saying about SCU. He's not a clear-cut heel. If he was, he would have fucking gave Stephen Amell the middle finger. But they both shook hands and stood on across from each other, placating to the fans. So yeah, I'm happy to see that Amell did a good job and Daniels did a good job, and it was a thing where they were talking shit, but they're doing what every other fucking sports athlete does: talk shit, and then they have respect for each other toward the end. So,
what was your reaction? I'm actually surprised we didn't talk about this in the beginning of the segment. But what was your reaction with Jerry Lynn being the referee?
fantastic. You know for sure, that was Christopher Daniels' idea. You know for sure that was him saying, "I want my friend in there," and I'm happy with Jay Lethal. What the fuck? I'm tired. Jerry Lynn, getting in there and throwing them both in the ring. I'm happy that the fact that it was it could have been a time killer a little bit, but I'm happy that they had him out there and it was the only match he reffed, but by all means, you had a veteran worker, you had a veteran as referee. There was no way Stephen Amell could have failed. They protected him by giving him the best fucking assets, and he still fucking exceeded a lot of expectations regardless. It honestly could have been just a mediocre match, and it wasn't. Some will sit there and say, yeah, it was mediocre. No, did okay. For an actor to go through a table, that's pretty okay to me. That's fine.
And then also do a coast to coast like that.
Yeah.
Get it all out of all those moves, sell properly, and then at the end just take the best damn moonsault and actually sell it properly. He did a good job. So but people are people. They have their opinions with that. But give credit where credit's due, people. Then we go to the next match.
Yep, our next match, which was Tessa Blanchard, who came out to a tremendous fucking surprise of hugging her stepfather, Magnum TA, and then Tully Blanchard, her actual dad, and them being side to side, which was shocking and heartwarming to see. As I completely did forget that Magnum was in a wheelchair, and that's a little upsetting, but it was a great thing to see her with both of them, and then them being out there together. I don't know, I don't really know if they're on speaking terms. It could have even just been out of respect to her. She wanted them out there for her biggest crowd ever. And then the next, then we had Madison Rayne, who I'm pretty convinced is on a retirement tour because she's on every fucking promotion everywhere, and she's just been mediocre in my opinion for the past couple of years. Chelsea Green, who's been killing it as Laurel Van Ness, formerly known as Laurel Van Ness in Impact, and then Britt Baker, who, outside of being Adam Cole's girlfriend, I didn't really know who she was. Everyone had a really great performance. Everyone shined really well, and it's arguable. It's nice to say, but it's arguable who was the standout here. Some people say Tessa shined as always. People can say, Britt Baker did really well and exceeded, which I think she exceeded what I thought of her. I didn't think anything of her. Madison Rayne stepped it up a little bit, and then Chelsea Green, in your opinion, was the MVP of this match.
Oh yeah, no, there is no no other person I could see being the MVP in this match. Even the gimmick was fantastic. Just doing like this two-face kind of like, oh, I'm gonna be all perky and happy, and then like I'm gonna like suddenly just like turn on a dime, and that to me was pretty fantastic. Just her playing insane was such a good. It just showcased her ability, and there were so many fantastic spots in this match.
She's been doing that gimmick since Impact. There was doing the thing where the guy Pepper Parks he went by the name Braxton Sutter in Impact. He's in real life married to Allie, aka Cherry Bomb. They did a thing where Chelsea Green, aka Laurel Van Ness, was supposed to marry Braxton, and Marie Kanellis and Mike Kanellis were in the ring, for the wedding. And Bram left her at the altar because he says he's really in love with Allie. So that left her for months and months and months with smeared makeup, drinking out of a bottle, just drinking wine, sitting there drunk, acting drunk, coming out to the ring drunk in a half-torn fucking wedding dress with makeup smeared everywhere. And now she's just kept the gimmick.
Well, I love that she didn't keep the gimmick completely. It's like I said, it's like a two-face gimmick.
Yeah,
where she's on the left side, she's got like all smeared makeup, and she looks and the whole hot mess gimmick there, and then on the other side, she's like completely fine. I thought that was a good like adaptation for her gimmick, especially on the indies. And because now obviously she can't do the gimmick anymore, considering she's not in Impact anymore. But it was a good adaptation of the gimmick. I liked a lot of the spots that I saw in the match. It was a very physical match. I liked a lot of the. And you know what's funny, and I heard this later on, and I found out that Britt Baker is actually a dentist now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, gimmick. No, and I was like, no one's gonna make the Isaac Yankem joke. No one's gonna say that she's Isaac Yankem with fucking tits.
I will say it was pretty awkward for, which I completely forgot that. For Emma to be out there, aka Tennille Dashwood, to be out there while Chelsea does the broski boot.
Yeah. And then the woo woo woo.
Yeah. But she hits a destroyer though. That was pretty dope.
I think I heard a podcast say that like when that happened, I think the crowd jizzed themselves. I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, no, that was a fantastic spot. I just find it weird though. This is the one thing I have a problem with. Kick out of a Canadian destroyer and a simple fucking hammerlock DDT is the finish. Silly. And then the finish is weird because it looks like the count is broken.
You know what I would have done if I were them? The only thing I would change. Who did Chelsea hit the Canadian destroyer on? Was it Britt or was it Madison?
No, it was Tessa.
She hit the Canadian
Like,
Destroyer on Tessa?
Yeah, she hit the Canadian Destroyer on Tessa. Tessa took the fucking spot, kicked out, got back up, hit the Hammerlock DDT. That's all she wrote. And then, and the worst thing was the fucking like, they made it in time to break up the count because the fucking referee was counting too slow.
Yeah, if anything, what they could have did to accentuate the fact that Tessa's a badass heel, you should have Tessa out of camera view. You should have Chelsea Green think, oh man, she's gonna win. Hit the Canadian Destroyer on Britt Baker or Madison, and then here comes Tessa Blanchard to fucking hit Chelsea Green, get her out of the way, hit her with a DDT, roll her out of the ring, and then pin the girl that Chelsea hit the Canadian Destroyer on. Been like, oh man, Chelsea could have won that match if Tessa didn't come in and get the cheap win.
Either that or and this would have been even more brutal. You like you said, you have Chelsea Green hit the move on Brie Baker, or you have what the hell is her name?
Madison Rain.
Madison Rain. You have her on the apron trying to get into the ring. She got glommed earlier. She's getting up on the ring apron. You take Brie and you fucking throw her into Madison Rain on the apron. They both go flying out of the ring. Or no, Chelsea. So she takes Chelsea Green and throws her head first into, so it looks like a spear. She goes fucking they both go into the fucking barricade. They're both knocked out. She gets the pin. So basically what you just said, except that she takes out all three women and gets the pin from that.
Yeah.
Because then that would have been a clear-cut finish, and everybody would have popped off that. Where this was weird because there's a confusion between the referee. The referee, you could tell the referee was like looking at like, why the fuck did you break up the count? And then he calls it anyway, and then there's like this good like 20-second to like a minute, delay where everybody's like looking around like, what the fuck just happened? It was a funky finish. That's the one thing I'll say, and it kind of, you know what, the funny part is like, I kind of, like, considering the next match was going to be an NWA match, it kind of made the pay-per-view kind of feel like NWA house show back in the day, where he had one of those really funky finishes before the main event.
Yeah, I suppose. But, our next match then was Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis for the NWA World's Championship, and both had awesome entrances. Cody, they did the old boxing thing where the camera was following them behind the scenes. Cody's coming out with Dreamer, motherfucking Glacier, which I don't care. I marked out the Glacier as a little kid. I don't care what people want to say. And then DDP. And they're coming out with the American Nightmare jackets and shit. That was really fucking dope.
And Dreamer was there too.
Yeah, so I said Dreamer, DDP, and Glacier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had Nick Aldis come out with the same style entrance, but he came out with Tim Storm, the quote unquote 53-year-old school teacher that Nick Aldis beat for the belt. You had him, you had Sean Daivari, randomly. You had Sam Shaw, for those that remember Sam Shaw once upon a time doing the creepy stalker gimmick to Christy Hemme in Impact. And, slap nuts.
Slap nuts.
You had to fucking you had to politic your way into this show. You had to get in there. This guy couldn't resist. He just had to fucking get on this show. I love the fact 16 years, and regardless of me liking TNA, regardless of all of that shit, he tried for 16 years with Impact. He failed, and they fired his ass multiple times. Then they had then he tried again with Global Force. That was nothing more than a glorified indie. Attaching that name to Impact, that didn't work. He tried for 16 years trying to get that crowd, and he had to get in front of that crowd somehow outside of WWE. Because he went, okay, I'll take the Hall of Fame ring and I'll give you some TNA library footage, and so that way I can get in front of a crowd again. And he got on this show somehow. The motherfucking snake in the grass himself.
Okay, besides all like the politics bullshit, I'll give you something that doesn't make sense in continuity. Jeff Jarrett was a fucking Bullet Club member. Why would he be?
Different time.
Why would he be?
Different time. I thought of that too, but different time.
But still, this is it. Bullet Club for life. You're fucking. The guy is one of the top guys in Bullet Club, and you're fucking walking out with the enemy.
Bullet Club for life. Yeah, we got the Tongans feuding with Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Still.
Nope. Bullet Club for life is just a t-shirt, brother. But anyway.
I know, but at least have some continuity.
Nah.
Or at least mention it. That's the one thing.
Yeah, Don Callis or
annoyed
Quicksilver.
Me.
Yeah, someone could have mentioned it. I know. I understand. I get it, but, I like to forget that Jeff Jarrett was in the Bullet Club. I do try to forget that. Earl Hebner was the referee for the match. Fantastic. I was happy to see him referee this match because, again, they did a great job trying to make this important. And they did a great job making it feel important. This felt like you were about to witness something really fucking big. And and the one thing, the match started off fucking really good. Smooth for the most part. They were doing a decent amount of stuff on the floor. The one thing, though, which I'm pretty sure this is why exactly they fucking... And I'm glad some people caught up on it. But this is exactly why they had to stall a little bit with DDP coming out there hitting the Diamond Cutter on Daivari. A lot of that was because of the fact that if you noticed when Cody does the dive off the top rope onto the floor and Magnus hits him with an elbow, he doesn't bleed right away. He didn't have his blade on him. So DDP, I think, ran down there and probably said, shit, here's your blade, and then ran in there to fucking stall some time to hit the Diamond Cutter on Daivari. So that's what it looked like. It looked like Cody didn't have a blade on him, and they're just kind of dicking around, going, what do I do? What do I do? So that's probably why, what he probably did was, he had the ref, he had Earl throw up an X to probably signal DDP to get the fucking blade.
Yeah. I just don't like the this is the issue that I had with that, where you could have done the exact same thing where you didn't have to have, you could have had the whole spot where DDP hits the Diamond Cutter. That you could have done that at some point in the match where you had Daivari try to interfere or something. Fine, I have no problem with that. But the X, you don't fuck around with that. You don't gimmick that. It's a major fucking thing. The crowd actually thinks the person's hurt. I know that they're trying to gimmick that, but when someone you shouldn't fucking gimmick that, because what if Cody actually got fucking hurt? Then what's the signal then?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you. They should have did something else, they could have been something in the back to them to fucking get DDP out there. But I don't know. It is what it is. It was that was the only nitpick I think you and I both had with the match itself. Honestly, outside of that, I think the match was fine.
I also okay, and then I know you probably didn't have as much of an issue with it, but when someone takes a fucking hit for somebody, shouldn't they just be automatically disqualified because they interfered with the match? I know the rules are different from promotion to promotion, but it's like, okay, I'm in the middle of a match. I'm wrestling against somebody, and suddenly, I don't know. I go to hit somebody, and they jump in the way of the finishing maneuver that I'm using to, beat your husband, beat your friend, whatever. You come in and take the hit. It's like any other sport. Like, I know it was supposed to be a simulation of a sport. It's not a sport, but like if you went in the if you had a trainer and the trainer went in front of one of your punches because you knew the guy was going to get knocked out, they would just call the fucking match.
I know, but wrestling's different. They only
I know, but it's so fucking hokey. I hate shit like that. I just thought it was stupid that she dove in the way, and it's like in anything else and I think I have seen shit where somebody got disqualified for doing shit like that, but I thought that was stupid, and it also kind of made it seem like, oh well, the match wasn't 100% clean. That's the main thing I took away from it. But the finish itself was fantastic.
Oh, the counter to the sunset flip.
Yeah,
that
was fucking. Well, okay, because and another thing that I know a lot of people were annoyed because this wasn't the main event. I actually didn't have a problem with it because you know what? Now that you think about it, okay, you put this match in the middle of the card, you are thinking to yourself, shit, Cody's not winning.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Because I did think that. I think, fuck, they're doing this already? I saw the build-up and I saw the promo. I'm like, okay, they're airing. I'm like, oh, that's weird. They're airing this for later. And then I saw Cody come out with DDP and Dreamer. And I was like, they're doing this now? I was like, dude, it's not even fucking 9 o'clock. You're doing it now?
Yeah.
I was like,
I thought
maybe
that's
Cody's
myself
not winning.
when I first saw it. When I first saw it, I was like, oh shit, Cody's not winning. That fucking tricked me. Because I'm thinking if Cody's winning, he's gonna do it in the main event because this is the thing that's been built up for months. This all in was this big thing, but this was supposed to be the main event. So, I mean, I don't think it's very rare that you see something like this where there's a big title change and it's the mid card, and and that was on the part of Cody, that was a pretty good idea to fucking trick everybody into thinking that you're not going to see a fucking title change here. And
no, you're right.
And somebody also mentioned it they that's an old school NWA fucking finish, and that was actually, I think that was the exact same. Somebody mentioned that was the exact same finish for I think it was SummerSlam '92 between British Bulldog and
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I forgot who mentioned that. What culture I think? Yeah, what culture I think did.
So yeah, no, I thought that was a good nod to everybody because it was and another thing we forgot to mention in the Battle Royale was Tommy Dreamer doing the bionic elbow.
Yes.
So,
I mean, he always wears the pants, but
you had a lot of references to all these guys from the '80s and the NWA movement, and Flair and and it just this match felt the most like if you had a flavor or just a particular error that the match was trying to emulate, it was definitely the closest that got to like the old school, wrestling that a lot of the people that were giving this match because they gave this a lot of people have been giving this a hard time, but if you really sit down, like if we got Bubby to watch that match, he'd probably jizz his pants because just the amount of things that they did that he probably would have picked up on. And
I
went,
mean,
oh wow, that's this.
here's the thing: we would have to just give him that match. That match alone, he would jizz his pants, not for the post-match segment that happened after the next match.
Oh,
Yeah, but yeah. So moving on, we had Hangman going against Joey Janela, accompanied by Penelope Ford. Three things here. One, it goes without saying, I obviously enjoyed it because I love me some hardcore wrestling. Two, I want to see Penelope Ford more on any company. A lot more Penelope Ford, please. And the third thing, I want someone to make a Botchamania ending with Joey Janela rolling the rolling the barrel toward Hangman, and Hangman jumps over it with Donkey Kong sound clips.
I know, right? Like that was the first thing that came to my fucking mind when I saw that.
And Quicksilver made a joke about it too. Like they were like actually making references to Donkey Kong, but it's stupid fucking Ian, and I say that with all due respect and joking around, because Ian was on the money, but he goes, oh, it's just like he jumps over it just like Super Mario. No, wrong game. Nintendo, wrong game.
Eric?
Yes, I know. There are games. I know. But I'm saying commonly, when you see barrels, you do think Donkey Kong.
You're over analyzing it, dude. He is right though, because Mario is in Donkey Kong. That is Mario.
No, I know. Motherfucker, I never played that actual Donkey Kong game, okay? The first one I ever played was Donkey Kong Country.
There's no barrels in that. There's some jumping over barrels in that game.
Yeah, there is. Yes, there
and
is.
You jump on barrels. You're not dodging the barrels.
Yeah, you do. They roll toward you in one of the levels.
No, you're referencing the fucking. No, I'm talking about they were talking about the original Donkey Kong, like from the arcade.
Yeah, I actually never played that.
Yeah, that has Super Mario in it. Super Mario is the main character. Donkey Kong's the bad guy. He's the one that throws the barrels.
Right, no, I know that. I'm just saying I never played it, and I totally forgot Mario was in it. But, yes, there were...
Ian Riccaboni is right, you cocksucker.
Okay, yes, he's right. Fine. I forgot.
Damn right you forgot.
But, no, I'm gonna show you one of these days that there was a level in Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, there probably is, but that's like a... Most of that game is like jumping over like fucking like crocodiles and shit.
I know, but that's my childhood there, Bubby.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, no. Just when you're wrong, just talk like just talk like Bubby.
Well, isn't that what he does? So
That's just the core thing here. If you're wrong, you talk like Bubby, and everything is fine.
yeah, because you know, that's what he does.
All right, we're saying it with love, and Pete's still retarded.
So, what was your favorite spot of the match for Hangman and Joey Janela? Other than Penelope Ford fucking jumping around.
I mean, she did fantastic work. I loved the I loved her like just dodging everything that Hangman was trying to do, and then just hitting him with the fucking stunner, and then later on, just her getting fucking like just full on taking a full on fucking super kick, which was fantastic. This was a fucking spot fest. Jesus Christ. The fucking the what the fuck move is that? What is it? The Iron Hammer?
Iron Hammer.
Oh god, no! What the fuck is the name of that move? Where he did the fucking like it's like a sidewalk slam, but he did it to the fucking like he did it on ladder from the apron.
Oh, the ladder that was set up. You're thinking of a burning hammer.
Burning Hammer, that's it.
Burning hammer is more so where the guy lands on his where the guy's stomach is pointing up to the ceiling, and then they land like on like a face bump. This is more like that was more of just like a I guess you would call it like I guess you would call it a modified burning hammer or whatever the fuck, but it was more of like
Yeah,
this,
I mean it was well,
yeah.
I mean that's what they called it on the you know, like the commentary that they called it a burning hammer because he did that. That was the first big spot of the match where he just like fucking he does that fucking that looked so fucking brutal. Just seeing the fucking ladder completely dented, and then like the welts on Joey Janela's like back and chest,
Mm-hmm.
and oh god, there's so many fucking spots in this where I legitimately cringed, and there was two matches where I was like, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. Like this, and then the Pentagon Kenny Omega match. Yeah, though there was a lot in that match, this match that scary. That's the best way I can describe it. Fucking scary. And I know you had an issue with the stairs.
Yeah, I did. I thought they should have. Well, I thought they should have done a ramp, but but you're right. They used every part of the setup served a purpose, and the fact that that was used because it was easier to have tables set up there so you could throw them right through the tables, as opposed to a ramp where you couldn't really do that. It would have to be where tables are off to the side and there couldn't be people there. So, you know, you were right when you said that what we said off air that every part served a purpose. So, and that was a brutal spot because they missed fucking the other table. It was just one table, and he landed like really like awkwardly, like a guy would fall out of a fucking building.
Yeah, like I noticed that every time, like, it's not just the indies. I mean, I've seen it happen a lot in WWE in terms of that exact kind of spot happening where it's like they set up the two tables, and it's just like, okay, for a spot like that, instead of just getting having two tables, why don't they just get one big one? Because it always just seems like whenever they do a big spot like that. They set up the two tables because the second table is supposed to be, okay, you're hitting the first table with your like ass and your lower back, and the other table is supposed to be like your like your shoulder blades and like your upper back. So most times I see that spot happening, they always fuck up, and it's either the guy goes short or the other table just doesn't break. So why don't they just legitimately get a bigger fucking table instead of just doing the, setting up 2 fucking tables, and it would save fucking time.
I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things where he didn't shoot them further enough, or they were too far back. It was just one of those missed opportunities, I guess you would say.
I don't think I've ever seen where like unless the 2 tables are stacked up on each other, I don't think I've ever seen 2 tables break. It always ends up being the person hits the first table.
I mean, the TLC match.
I know you probably have. I'm saying for me though, I've never fucking seen it though.
Right.
Because anytime I see that fucking exact spot, it always ends up being the first table breaks and the other one's fucking. Yeah, the other one's fucking fine, and the guy's usually head fucking bounces off the fucking concrete like a fucking like. Oh god. Even in New Japan. I mean, New Japan's kind of hard to say. That's
another animal. That's another
yeah, they
animal.
got the fucking hardest tables in the business. Or you can take a fucking bump like directly on it and be a fucking 300-pound motherfucker, and you're still not gonna break that fucking table.
Earls could sit on it, and then it's still on.
Jesus Christ, tell us how you really feel.
I say that with love. But no, I mean, I get what you're saying. But it's sometimes one of those. Sometimes it just. I guess they did that just also as precautions because it's like, hey, it's gonna not be good for you if 1 table breaks your fall. It'd be better to have 2, and because he only hits the 1, it's fuck. Hopefully he's okay.
No, but what I'm saying is, if they had a way bigger table, like if you had a table that's the size of like 2 tables together, and you use that spot for like anytime you throw a guy or guys like, you're making sure the guy's not gonna like, like if you're doing a spot from like a higher distance or you're throwing the guy, and you usually have the second table there, so the guy hits his back, like the top of his back, and he doesn't like crack his head on the fucking concrete. I just think it would be a lot smarter to just have a bigger fucking table. So you're still gonna, it's still a gimmick table. You're gonna go through the fucking table, but your body is actually making contact and not like hitting the first table, bouncing off, only breaking the one, and the other one you just either hit into, and it just falls over, and then your head still fucking smacks on concrete. Because I've never seen it fucking work. But what the fuck do I know?
Right. Our next match, Flip Gordon challenged. Oh yeah, Black Machismo, yeah. Jay Lethal. With Flip Gordon with Flip Gordon having Brandy Rhodes in his corner, and Jay Lethal having brother from another mother, Lanny Poffo at ringside.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this. I legitimately cried. When I saw that, I actually fucking cried. Like for me, it's a situation where when the fuck are you ever gonna see a Macho Man entrance again, ever? Other than like seeing his old matches on YouTube or going on the network and or going on like one of the collections. It's like you're never gonna see that. Yeah, it's goofy, but he's doing this whole gimmick with the amnesia or split personality. But at the end of the day, it's like you had Cody win the championship. It's like all these guys that have a legacy, especially considering like they're making nods to all like these guys that were you know in the '80s, and they all have their legacies, and it's like Macho Man didn't have any kids. He's not leaving behind the legacy that he has is his name and his gimmick and the way he acted. It's like to Lanny, I mean that had to be that had to make him happy too. He's like, just to have go out there and I'm actually surprised Lanny didn't cry too. Like I fucking was just. And again, I know it's goofy. I know it's played for laughs. It's just, again, when the fuck are you ever gonna in my lifetime? When the fuck am I ever gonna see a fucking Macho Man entrance like that?
I
And,
loved it.
It's
And
like,
it wasn't a remastered version of his music. It was his actual fucking music. It was the actual Poppin' Circumstance graduation music. It felt like a Macho Man entrance, like you said. And he had the jacket. It didn't say Black Machismo. It actually said Macho Man. It was an actual Macho Man fucking outfit. It was the very one that Ian said that he wore what Macho Man wore in his debut in WCW when he had to deal with the Slim Jim spot. And when my dad saw this, he was just completely he was smiling from ear to ear, going, "Wow, what a show!" He's like they treated this entire weekend from Starcast to this show like the offshoot WrestleMania. He said they really went, no pun intended, all out to make this show feel important. Where everyone had special entrances, and things in a way mattered, or it was really fucking cool for me, at least. Growing up watching Macho Man as well, and obviously you're a huge Macho Man fan, probably more than me. But it's not to say that I'm not a big Macho Man fan either. I'm a huge Macho Man fan as well. We both are. So, it brought back a lot of memories for me as a kid watching him in WCW.
I don't know. It brought back all the memories, and it was really it really touched me. I thought because it could have been a goofy gimmick, and this is the thing with Jay Lethal is he was the heir apparent for Macho Man. Macho Man signed off on him using the Black Machismo gimmick, and obviously, Lanny Poffo is also signed off on it. And, I thought, if anything, you have all these wrestlers who have children, who have, a legacy to continue, and it reminded me of how much, I miss Macho Man, and at the same time, you come to the realization, and you're like, okay, there's never going to be another Macho Man, but a guy like Jay Lethal, who's able to, embody everything that Macho Man was as a wrestler, and come out and do this amazing entrance, and just even for one night. It was a kind of still like a celebration of him as a as this amazing wrestler, and it's a celebration of his legacy, and to have that at All In was fucking amazing, and that made me so fucking happy to see. And I fucking popped when they fucking just the beginning part of the match is just basically WrestleMania 3. Just
Liz, get over here. I'm not Liz.
yeah.
Stay over here.
I mean, and on top, even that I love that they were so blatant about it, where like they did spot for spot, like in the beginning of the match when Lethal gets in the ring, he throws Flip out of the ring exactly the same way as Ricky Steamboat. So yeah, that was very nostalgic for me.
Yeah. My dad was
just to see
really
that again.
my dad was fucking just laughing his ass off, and I couldn't help too, that Jay Lethal is such a fucking professional that he had all the mannerisms down, from the intensity of the handshake to when he points at the guy's face, and then like the facial mannerisms when he looks at the crowd, like he has like the tongue sticking out on the side, and he's like the googly eyes going around, and like and then you hear him like talking to people, going, "We're in for a good moment right now, yeah."
Oh my god!
Like he had
Get over
everything
this! Get
down.
over here!
Yeah, you stay over here, and then he picks her up and does the WrestleMania 7 spot.
Oh my god!
And then I love, she taps him on the shoulder, and he's Jay Lethal again, and he's like, "Why am I wearing these pants?" Then Lanny comes in and taps him, and he's Macho Man again. But the match itself, this is one of my favorite matches, in the sense of, it was a really fun, feel-good match. They took two captivating stories from that show. Another another BT, Easter egg here, where he takes fucking they take Flip Gordon, who was trying to get on the show, and now he's having a world title match, ROH title match, and you have Jay Lethal, who's been having this, amnesia struggle. And they took two stories that were tremendous and put them in one match, and they told their own story as just two guys having a match for the world title and having a little fun at the same time. Everyone at ringside got involved, and it was fucking amazing. It was completely different from what you usually see from a Ring of Honor match, and it was, in my opinion, one of my more fun matches watching. Just the counters and everything, and Flip is so fucking good. Like, he is really fucking really good.
I love the fact that he was able to he was doing his normal shtick, but he when he needed to, he was doing heavyweight style stuff. Like he was, and especially, and then I I know you marked out for the you.
My dad goes, "Oh fuck! Hopefully there's no leg drop."
I actually would have loved the leg drop just for a kick out.
I would have loved
Just
the
like
leg
the
drop.
disbelief.
I would have loved the leg drop only because his tights were camouflage. And I made this joke to my dad too. I said, "Why not, Dad? Look at his tights. They're camouflage, and the back of them have white and blue colors. If he does it, he really is a real American."
Oh man.
But if he did do that, he would be called a Hogan Mark.
Oh. I hear that guy is not. I don't know. I like that Pete guy.
Oh, shut up! He's gonna kick the shit out of you.
I say it with love.
Shout out to our boy Pete. You know.
She.
Damn it. But Jay Lethal,
We say it with love. Your
Malacca.
your fucking sister.
Jay Lethal gets the win though via lethal injection. The Bullet Ray comes out, attacks them both. Colt Cabana comes out, gets a table, and then they put him through the fucking table. Also, too, I like how Lanny got in there, and you're like, okay, is Lanny gonna actually do anything? And Bubba just kicks him in the dick.
Which is actually kind of funny because like that you can also kind of consider that another BT reference with him and them asking him if he.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, no, I mean, it's also great that they gave Colt Cabana his moment, and
yeah, they did the Shield
yeah,
powerbomb. Yo, what would
Yeah.
you think? What would you have done if he actually did the ooh-ah?
I think the crowd did actually. From what I heard, some people
Nah, they
that were,
booed. They booed. And
no, I heard some people actually did do, like, they actually just jokingly did do,
yeah, but I heard some boos, and if you, we'll probably mention on a smaller KTR episode this week, but yeah, we got a discussion about the Shields coming later this week, but yeah, I don't know, They probably did do the ooh-ah. I don't know. I personally heard boos.
no, I know, I
wanted
heard,
to.
like, I heard some people did do it. Like,
Okay.
you always have somebody in the crowd that's just as a joke.
Yeah,
But,
of course.
No,
Yeah.
I'm happy that Colt Cabana had still got his, like, moment in the sun. Especially
Yep.
considering all the shit that's been happening with him. And like, his whole
Phil.
shit with CM Punk.
Yep.
And, again, you know what? Fuck CM Punk. He had his chance to come to the fucking show, so, again, fuck him.
Look, you were right. You were right. Where it was a thing where you said to me months ago, you're getting excited for nothing. You're letting this guy ruin what's going to be an amazing show. And you're right. If I did get my hopes up too much, I would have been just fucking let down. But I came to terms, at least 2 months ago. I realized, fuck, this guy's not gonna be in wrestling ever. And at this point, you know what? Whatever. I enjoyed his work for what it was, but now it's like after a show like this, we got so many fucking people in pro wrestling
that can take the ball and
rotates.
run with it, so whatever.
Yeah, it rotates. Yeah, it rotates.
Go be depressed. Yeah, go be depressed and do nothing, and basically cut out everybody in your life. So it's a situation where you're gonna be fucking basically alone by yourself because you've literally cut out the only thing that you were ever good at, and now basically it's you and AJ Lee against everybody in the fucking world, and apparently everybody else is bad, and it's a fucking shame. But at least you know what, the crowd still got behind Colt Cabana. It wasn't a situation where they started like being dicks about it and being like CM Punk.
Nah, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? I think everyone's on the side of Colt in that case, in that fucking court case. You know what?
Yeah.
In this case, fuck it. Colt Cabana. You know what? I'm glad Punk didn't show up, and the reason, and I'm not saying that as, oh, you didn't show, so now I'm like, fuck you. I'm glad you didn't show. No, I'm glad he didn't, because if you think about it, that would have taken away again from a moment from Colt Cabana, like Matt Cross, like a lot of these guys who were suffering for years on the indies in the sense of They're working in front of maybe 125 people, sometimes 25 people, making like 25, $10 a night. And now all of a sudden, they're in a building full of 10,000 people that's not WWE related. Punk has had his moments. He didn't fucking appreciate them. Colt finally had his moment. He finally had his moment in front of a 10,000 plus crowd chanting his name. So, by all means, the focus was on Colt. He was Chicago's guy that night. By all means, I'm happy, even though he didn't get a win in any match. I'm happy that he got, to shine and look like a superstar, to look like a wrestler.
Okay, next match.
Yeah. Next match we had who's considered the actual best wrestler in the world, Kenny Omega, against Penta L0M or Pentagon Jr. or Pentagon Dark, whatever you want to call him. Another fucking match of the night, quality match, a dream match.
Oh, you forgot his other name, Pentagon Stout. Now serving Pentagon Guinness.
Now serving Pentagon IPA.
Oh, good grief. Okay. I actually love the fact that I love the alliteration here when they were like, I think they called, at one point they called Kenny like the god of wrestling, and they're like, and you have like the devil of wrestling, and I was just like, I kind of like that. I can kind of see that, like the contrast between the two guys. There's like one is so flamboyant and
well, is it me? Well, when they brought that up and the quality of the match itself, did that to me? It had a little shades of Taker, Shawn.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And just the fucking brutality of this match, and it starts off like it's not that it's a slow pace, because these motherfuckers don't do slow. This is a fucking fast pace, but it's just like the pacing is like, best way I could describe it is it's WWE fast, where it's like it's moderate speed, and then it just goes fucking turbo. Like the best way I can describe it is like it's going at a fucking like it's going at a good pace, and then they fucking like go to a fucking like another level.
So they basically went from 35 miles per hour to about 85 miles per hour within about of like 3 minutes.
No, motherfucker, they were going like 70 miles per hour to begin with, and then they went like 200 miles per hour at the end of the match. That's how they were. They were fast to begin with, but they picked up. They went to a fucking higher pace than that, and then picked it up another pace right after that. So it went from being fast, super fast, and then slow down, motherfucker, you're gonna kill somebody. And
if I'm gonna nitpick it all, if I am gonna nitpick it all though, you make a whole story in Lucha Underground, and even in Impact, where Pentagon, when he does the thing with the arms, their arms quote unquote break, and Lucha, they even dub in fucking nowadays, they even dub in fucking bone breaking sound effects, which is cheesy as hell.
Kenny's arm. Kenny was selling it for the fucking whole match after that happened.
No, but my thing is, you don't hit the one wing angel if your arm's broken.
He used the other arm, dude.
And you have to, human psychology, common sense, you have to use your other arm to maneuver the fucking guy.
He did use his other arm. He used his left arm. If you go back and watch it, he uses his left arm to cradle him.
Oh, well, what was the arm that Pentagon hit? It was the right arm, right?
He hit the right arm. he cradles him with the left. And then even he said, like, people that were there, the whole time he's cradling the arm all the way up to the at the end of the match. He's cradling his fucking arm all the way up the ramp. So yeah, that he did sell the arm. That
All right, good.
they
Okay.
had to change that up.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't know about him selling it afterwards, so that's good. But all right, I'm watching it back now. Okay. No. Yeah, he's selling the arm, which is good, but he actually did use his right arm to
Okay.
Yeah, he actually did use his right arm. But again, it's one of those things where, hey, I'm doing this out of desperation, but you know what? I don't know. It's like that move that Pentagon does is supposed to be his finish, and people are gonna fucking cast. Like, that's the thing I'm trying to get at. It's like they protect the shit out of that move in Lucha Underground to where people were in cast for like fucking 6 months. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you would have to watch Lucha Underground to understand the psychology of that. But, you know, but again, like, Kenny still sold it. That's fine. But, you know, man, I also love Kenny's, when he did Pentagon's package pile driver, but it was a fucking rotating package pile driver.
Yeah, holy shit.
That could have been a finish too. But
that could have been death. Like when they were doing the package pile drivers, and especially that one off the one off the apron that fucking Pentagon did to Kenny, I thought Kenny was gonna be dead. Like that looked fucking brutal, and I swear to God, I thought his head fucking hit the apron. I swear to God.
I got another overdub for you. You could have I want someone to edit where Pentagon goes to hit, where Pentagon hits the package pile driver to Kenny on the apron, and they dub in a gunshot sound, and it's, "Oh my God, you killed Kenny, you bastard!"
Oh my God! Yes, please do that.
Yeah.
No, I swear to God when I was watching that, I was like, "Yo, he just like fucking Owen Harted his ass." Like I thought he. No, I mean like Stone Cold.
Yeah, I know.
Like, broke his neck.
I know, but Austin, Austin's my all-time favorites, and it's like,
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
like I actually thought that was the case because it looked like his head fucking hit the fucking apron, and by God, man, that. Oh.
Yeah.
And they were fucking. I loved the bit where he just kept going Zero Miedo, and he just kept fucking like either slapping the shit out of him or hitting with the fucking V trigger like every fucking time.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
And then we had a surprise appearance from the Maniac himself, Chris Jericho.
I actually didn't think he would be on the fucking show.
Yeah, the whole I'm not gonna be there because I don't want to disrespect Vince. But that was all just to shock people. I don't know if you know this or not, but so this is why I call Jericho a maniac, because I'm really convinced he is one. Jericho is now to me a happy maniac. This guy did a show in Little Rock, Arkansas. Got to there at that time at 5:30, which was 6:30 our time. The show was already fucking taking place. Pre-show was already going on. He gets to the building, dresses up as Pentagon, fucking does the makeup and everything. And then as soon as this segment is done with Penta and Kenny, he gets in a private jet, goes to Kansas, does a show for Fozzy that very night. About an hour or so later, with the Pentagon makeup on, he performs the concert with the Pentagon makeup on.
Oh my god! Wow.
So, that's why I call him Chris Jericho the Happy Maniac, because this guy is just living his fucking life.
Wow. Gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him.
You know, and then he says to Kenny that he'll see him on the cruise. So, I wonder if that thing's gonna be. I know it's not gonna be aired live. They can't, but I hope that they record the footage and put it up on something.
Yeah, at least like make DVDs or something.
There's speculation that if there is something along those lines, that a certain announce team from the Attitude Era is gonna fucking be there as well. So who knows?
Oh, okay.
Jim
Very
Ross
nice.
and Jerry Lawler are on the cruise too.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be different. Honestly, that would be different. JR and the King call Ring of Honor versus Impact matches.
Yeah, that would be really weird. I mean, I'd be into it.
Hell yeah. Our next match was the junior heavyweight versus the heavyweight. Marty Scurll versus Kazuchika Okada. I don't have too much of a problem with this match. But the thing I'm gonna say is, it didn't need to be 26 minutes long. To me, it did feel a little more like the match was great, but it felt more like a G1 match, if you get my drift.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'll explain why I think they let it go on a little bit long. Everybody else in the Bullet Club kind of got what they wanted, like in terms of, okay, let me put it this way. Cody gets the championship. He gets the NWA championship. He got what he wanted from All In. You had Stephen Amell. You know, he doesn't win, but he gets the respect as a professional wrestler. He got what he wanted. You had Hangman Page. He nearly kills another Joey, and now he's rusting in penis with a bunch of penises. So, I mean, he didn't exactly get what he wanted, but he almost killed another Joey, so that's good enough, I guess. And
Kenny got another win,
so
but
Kenny got
you're
a
kind of
huge
proving
win
yourself
against the
wrong
top guy
here.
in Impact.
You're kind of proving yourself wrong here, because Kenny got a win, but he still got ambushed by Chris Jericho. Did he really get what he wanted?
I mean, he got a big win against a guy, one of the top guys in Impact and Lucha Underground. So that's probably what he wanted. I mean, it sucks that Jericho ambushed him, but that is what it is. And like everybody else kind of got what they wanted. Now, in terms of like storyline, they had to have an epic match between Marty and Okada, because then it's like, oh well, he didn't win, but he proved himself that he could be a heavyweight. Because obviously they're not gonna. They couldn't have had a 10-15 minute match and say, oh, he proved that he can. No, and then you'll just say, oh, it's a squash. So they had to have a longer match, so he could prove himself and say, oh well, I almost beat Okada. And I loved the whole storyline that they had where a Tiger is. And I love how they were like, oh well, Earl Hebner is a notorious fast counter, and Tiger he's a slow counter. He's It's not that he's doing it on purpose. It's just he slow counts for everybody, and that later on that comes into play when Marty hits Okada with the fucking Rainmaker, and anyone else he would have won. Any other referee he would have won. That they. And I love how they kind of like were like, no, Tiger's a fucking slow counter, and that's the reason that Marty didn't win.
Yeah. No, I mean, when you put it like that, I get it. I get it. Like it was a match where I just feel bad because it's like, yeah, the Bucks, they gotta win, but at the same time, it's like they got fucking hit with time restraints. It's like there could have been a compromise somewhere on the show. It was a 4-hour fucking show. There could have been some type of compromise. Where it's like if you wanted to keep the Joey Ryan stuff, fine. Then where do you fucking hit? Where could have you cut some time from? And I think, okay, it was either one or the other. Either cut the Joey Ryan shit out and condense it, cut the Bully Ray shit out, or fucking cut down Okada and Marty, because it's just one of these things where it's the first time ever, and it's this big show, and it's we gotta rush off the air. Bye, folks. These guys didn't have enough fucking time. Well, where was the problem?
I mean, I hate to say it though. I mean, if there was one match they could have cut a little bit more, they and again we had this whole spiel about give the guy his due, but the first match with Matt Cross they could have
that was already only 9 minutes. That was the shortest match on the card.
Really?
That was the shortest match on the card.
I remember it being longer than that. Shit.
Nope. Shortest match.
Really? Even shorter than the women's match?
Yep.
I don't think it was the women's match.
Well, okay, so the MJF Matt Cross match was about, I want to say, 1 second. It was, okay, 9 minutes and 23 seconds. And the women's match was 12 minutes and 41 seconds.
Okay, so shit.
And okay, yeah, so 22 minutes for the NWA World Title match. That needed to be a longer one. 20 minutes for the Chicago Street Fight, and 26 minutes for Okada and Marty. And the Bucks, who were the main event with Ray going against Ray, and then you have Kota and Bandito, who's new face to people, and Phoenix, who's a fucking a well-known name now. They only get 11 minutes in the main event.
Shit.
So yeah, that's what I'm
right.
saying.
That's weird.
Yeah. And I was legit, and that was the thing I had a problem with. That's what I hate. That's why it's not to take away from Marty, it's not to take away from Okada, but I'm sitting there watching this live, and I find myself looking at my clock more. I'm going, shit, it's fucking almost 10:30, and these guys aren't out of the ring yet. And it's not to knock them, but it was like I felt bad for the Bucks. This was their main event, and they're gotta deal with, we gotta go, we gotta get out. Otherwise, we owe money. We gotta get out. Like I felt bad for them, because this was their big moment, and all they got was just 10 minutes.
Yeah. The one thing I think they could have done is, it probably wouldn't have worked because just they could have. I don't know. Like you couldn't have taken that Matt Cross match and like put it with the. Oh yeah, that wouldn't have worked. I'm like trying to think of like how you would have like put those matches. Like how would you like budget for time? I think there's too many. too many
Again,
additions, I guess. I don't know.
knocking down, like I said, knocking down Marty and Okada down to fucking from 26 minutes, knocking it down, knocking 8 minutes off of that, and giving about maybe, I don't know, 4 more minutes to make it a nice 15 minutes to the Bucks, and then having like, I don't know, 5 minutes to just say thank you for ordering the pay-per-view and thank you to all the loyal fans. Yeah, that's fine. An 18-minute match for Okada and Marty would have been fine. If they trimmed each match down by a couple minutes and that match mostly by just 8, that would have been okay. Everything would have balanced out.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they just didn't. I don't know, go back into it and just like edit it. Like, I
They
know
should
they're
have.
recording. Like, what I just don't understand why they couldn't have just gone back in like for any of the like a rebroadcast. Just go back in and just add the extra shit like at the end, so you're actually getting your like you're getting your money's worth, especially towards the end when they like give their speech, their like farewell speeches and just and have an actual end to the show rather than just going, oh, bye, see you later.
Yep.
I almost kind of feel bad for Ian Riccaboni too, because he's just like trying, he's just stammering to like get like he couldn't even finish really like the fucking like at the end of the show it's just like the fucking Ring of Honor like the credits just roll, and then you have him just get cut off like mid sentence.
Yep. Yeah,
So
that was because of pay-per-view. That was because of whatever the fucking provider is called now, Events on Demand, whatever the fuck it's called. They fucking rushed them off because they're like, okay, we gave you 4 hours. You're not WWE.
I just like at this point like I get that people still buy the pay per view, but it's just like why like we've
They have to adhere to
who
the
watches
rules,
on
though.
who watches on fucking pay per view anymore?
Some people do.
We're,
People that don't want
well,
to buy networks do.
I what I don't get is you have all these streaming networks that like you have Fight Network, you have Ring of Honor, you have New Japan, you have all these different networks where you're going online to buy these pay per view. Well, you're going online to get all these live events and shows and stuff, and it's just like, okay, why do we need the pay per view again? Why
I'm
are
gonna.
we
I'm
why are we
going to.
rushing our fucking show?
I'm going to put my. I'm gonna put my podunk voice on for this one, and it's not. It's not a bubby thing. It's just a regular podunk voice for this one. I'm gonna guess it on the pay-per-views because I don't got the internet. It's people that don't have that don't have a computer, and believe me, I live in a town where there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. Oh, how do you watch that? The WWE Network. Oh, I don't have a computer. Oh, you get it on your phone. I don't know how to do that. I can show you how. No, I don't know how to do that. I'll just buy the pay-per-view. It's gonna cost as much as this. Yeah, I don't care. I don't know things about computers. That's what it is. Pay-per-view nowadays is made for stupid people. People that are stupid and that are willing to pay for them being stupid.
Personally, it's just like, why? Again, like, but my thing is, it's not the lion's share of the market to begin with, and you're basically rushing. You're ruining the fucking product for anyone who buys the actual
To
network.
be fair, it is like I said, it's a 4-hour show. Do you really need more time? Like, if we're gonna do this thing with WWE where, oh, it's ridiculous that they're doing 3-hour Raws and 4-hour pay-per-views, you gotta be impartial here. 4 hours is a lot of time. You mean to tell me
Yeah, but I mean,
something
like
couldn't be
another like
condensed?
10 minutes. Like it's not like I hate this shit where it's like it has to be, it has to be on the fucking dot. It can't be 10 minutes over. And it's like, how many times have we like? Okay, put it this way. Remember when we were watching? Oh God, what the fuck? What pay per view was it that they had this weird awkward cut where
ROH best in
pay
the
per view
world.
ends? Huh?
ROH best in the world.
No. I'm talking about like with WWE.
I don't know.
Where you had that really awkward cut where uh, Braun and Roman were fighting, and they end the pay per view, and then the rest of the like the good part of like what was going on spilled over into the network, and it was you basically if you didn't watch the pay per view like the post pay per view show, you didn't get to see what happened afterwards. So it's like, okay, like what's the issue if you go 10 minutes over?
No, yeah, I guess, yeah, I know, but the pay per view doesn't give. They don't care. You'd think
No,
they
but
would.
like, why do you give a shit? Like, my thing is, why does anyone give a shit about pay per view anymore? Why are you paying money? Why are you paying money for them to record you, and then if you go over time, they charge you more. So it's like, okay, why even deal with them when that's not even your major, like that's not even the major, like that's not your staple of like you're most of your fans are buying your shit off the internet. They're streaming your events. They're not buying it through on demand. So if that's the case, then why the fuck even deal with it?
I don't know. Again, pay per view is made still for stupid people that don't know, that don't have the common sense to just buy a fucking computer or buy a Roku or buy anything with fucking internet. It's just, I don't have this. I only know this because I've been doing this since 1983. Let me just get pay per view.
Oh shit, you are at. Come on, you're actually talking shit about Bowie now.
No, I'm talking shit about people in my town that I have actual conversations with and go, oh, how do you watch that? This? Oh, I don't know, idiot. I don't know anything. And they pull out their flip phone. This is their. I'm serious. I know. I will tell you off air. I know people personally that are still like that to this day. That are in their 50s and that say, "Oh, I don't know this," and then they pull out a flip phone. It's like, yeah, of course you don't. You still own a fucking flip phone in 2018.
Yeah.
Both of my parents fucking own actual smartphones, and then here's a fucking 50-year-old going, "Oh, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about technology," and they're pulling out a flip phone. It's like, yeah, you're right. You don't. So that's your money you're spending, not mine. But again,
True.
that's what these companies are pandering towards still. They want to reach every fucking medium, and that means even the stupid ones. But anyway, to wrap this thing up, because we're already on 3 hours. We might not even do a KTR at this point because this is a lot of shit. But anyway, so Golden Elite take on the team of Rey Fenix, Rey Mysterio, and Bandito. What's your overall thoughts of the match? For what it's worth, what's your overall thoughts?
I thought it was a fantastic match. You could obviously tell like they were strapped for time and God okay, the main thing I want to say, and this is the main thing I'm going to take away from this match, and this is horrible to say, but I really made me want to buy a fucking toy of whatever fucking Rey Mysterio was wearing. I know he was Wolverine, but Jesus fucking Christ, I need that. I need the mask. I need the fucking custom or the actual fucking toy of that. Like, I'm pretty sure like WWE's like if they saw that they were like, "Fuck, why didn't we think of that?"
Why don't we think of telling him to do that? I mean, he was the Flash there for WrestleMania, and he was the Joker.
Oh, but it was so fucking cool, and especially he's the same height as Wolverine too. So
Yeah, that's true. Wolverine is a little fucker.
yeah, so like I fucking dig that. I he he actually made me want that mask more than the fucking New Japan mask, and I thought that was my favorite mask that he's ever come out with.
Yo, what would you do if Ray ever was fucking Deadpool?
Oh man, don't make me want like I already want to buy two masks of of his. Now you're gonna make me want to buy a fucking third. That's not cool, man.
Damn right. You fucking Alaska hater.
Yeah, it's not my fault. They suck. Um.
Hey man, we have a demographic in Alaska. You better mind your shit. Yeah.
All right. I'll stop. I'll stop. When they stop fucking each other's cousins.
You fuck. Yeah, but yeah, I love the match. Like I said, I wish it was a little longer. I wish there was something fixed here, but for what it's worth, you had a nice interaction with Ray and Coda, which everyone popped for. There's a lot of fucking hope spots and things. You thought Ray's team was winning. I know you had Ray's team winning, but all the luchadors lost tonight. So
I actually really loved the spot where they had what move was that? They when God, it was Bandito, and he had him in like a oh God, he had him in like a fireman's carry, and then he did
yeah, flipping Blockbuster.
yeah.
Oh, that was dope. Dude, I told everyone, as soon as I saw like videos of him online, I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna be awesome. And like he did like the fucking, which you could tell that's fucking core strength, where he does like he gets up into like a handstand position to go do a kip up. And then Nick Jackson is just standing there and he just super kicks him right in the stomach.
I love that. I also love that they mention like well no actually I heard this later on, but I heard that during that time Nick was sick with the flu, and I actually would have thought he would have been more in the back, but he for the majority of the match he was he was taking the hot tags. He was like getting involved, and he can't like the one tag he came out like a house of fire, and like this was a fucking hot like everything was just a hot tag match, man. This was fucking amazing. Not every match should be like this, but every single match was different on the card. So when you got to like this tag like a tag match like this, it was just like, wow, holy shit.
Yeah. So overall, what do you give All In a grade?
I mean, there's little things that take away from it.
Yeah.
Like just the rushed ending, but yeah, no, I'm gonna go with a solid A.
I want to go A minus.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with A minus. Again.
Yeah, I think there's
It's it's not something. I will say this: if we're gonna go by the grade of because we rate an A plus as something where, you know, it's so good that we would show a non-wrestling fan. This is something where you have to kind of be into the stuff. And that's the thing with the Joey Ryan stuff too. Even where it's like, as soon as I saw it, I only got annoyed not because of the actual app, but I got annoyed because it's like, man, this is something that we could have possibly showed the older generation to be like, hey, look, here's a really good here's a good show now that here's the state of wrestling outside of WWE, and then that happens. It's like, fuck, now every veteran's gonna fucking bitch. You know, every fucking guy that's over 40 is just gonna complain.
Yeah, but anyone that's complaining about that was going to complain about everything else in the show too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you used a super kick and it wasn't the finish. Shun them. Shun them now.
I kind of hope Bubby never watches Olin. Just because I don't want to argue with him, because I will if it came to that. With all due respect and love, Bubby, I kind of would argue with you, because I personally enjoyed it, and if that makes me a Sparks Entertainment fan, in this regard, fuck it. Honestly.
Yeah, but at this point, like, and this is the same argument I always have with everybody else that like wants to like, your wrestling might be different than my taste in wrestling.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we can't all like. Okay, I might like chocolate, you might like vanilla. You know, I might like vanilla sometimes. I might like chocolate sometimes. It is what it is. You know, like everybody has their own taste in a particular flavor of ice cream. It's the same thing when it comes to wrestling. Wrestling has different genres. You might like lucha libre. You might like hardcore matches. You might like fucking death matches, and you might like British submission wrestling or Japanese strong style, or you might just like old school wrestling. You know, the main thing is, can they all coexist in the same, in the same space? And this show showed, yeah, you can have an old school wrestling match. You can have a top Japanese wrestler with the guy who's a British submission artist, or you could have a hardcore match. You can have a flippy match. You can have a match where two guys are just beating the shit out of each other the entire time. This match beyond this pay-per-view, beyond everything else, showed that, yeah, wrestling is bigger than just one type of wrestling, and it's bigger than comedy or serious wrestling. It's a art form, and there's several different genres of an art form, of a subject of wrestling is whatever you want to make it, and regardless of whether or not somebody likes the exact same wrestling as you should always just realize, shit, that's his opinion, I have my opinion. Just love wrestling.
Yeah. Agreed. And with that note, this is it for this episode. Now, because this was a longer show, guys, most likely we're not going to probably do a KTR, because we're already approaching a 3-hour mark, and this just happens. We see certain things, and we just kind of have to rant a little bit. It gets to, it's kind of become a theme on AM Thunder specifically, but it is what it is. So hope you all enjoyed this rendition. Usual plugs: Facebook.com/Kayfabe Talk Radio, KayfabeTalkRadio.com. Our link is on there for YouTube, so please subscribe to YouTube, and it's the only place where you could hear the full edition of AM Thunder. And Twitter. I'm on Twitter at EricTheRed211. Our good old friend J.R. Earls Arts is on Twitter. and Mr. underscore Bonesaw for your gripes and complaints on the show.
Yeah, I'm not going to give a shit of what anyone says.
Yep, until next time, folks, keep it kayfabe.
Bitches!
Hey guys, if you're a fan of what you just heard, please go to KayfabeTalkRadio.com, your official source for everything Kayfabe Talk Radio. You can find our links for iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, which is Facebook.com/Kayfabe Talk Radio, and our YouTube page. Our YouTube page features all live streams of Kayfabe Talk Radio weekly episodes, AM Thunder, which is our pay-per-view review show, as well as custom-made montages of pro wrestlers, mostly from New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Till next time, keep it kayfabe, bitches.